No one's perfect, including LEGO, so today we're looking at more LEGO sets that break the rules within their instructions, set images, or various building techniques. Kicking things off today, I've got a submission from a viewer named Andrew who noticed something a little off in the Imperial Armored Marauder set between steps 30 and 31 and again between steps 47 and 48. Spotted the issue yet? Well, where did this 2x1 Technic brick come from? None of the steps call for it, and it seems to just pop out of nowhere in both of these instances. Luckily, this isn't a very large set, and so the difference is easy enough to spot. Over on Reddit though, a user named Sour Patch Kid posted this image from the instructions for the XL-15 spaceship. After opening up the fourth bag, you get to put together a minifigure and their cannon, which requires a small sticker. The instructions tell you to place sticker number 3 on the side of the bazooka, and that's all fine and dandy. But there's a little something else for the eagle-eyed builders. It seems like the very next step shows another sticker being placed on the figure's legs. While LEGO does make some tiny stickers, leg stickers would be ridiculous. I'm not sure how this sticker seemingly teleported off the rocket launcher. The Batcave Shadow Box is a very impressive set with nearly 4,000 LEGO pieces, the majority of which are black or very, very dark gray. With so many similar pieces, some mix-ups are bound to happen. Well, a viewer named Gavin emailed me showing that, sure enough, we do get a little mistake in Book 4 on step 964. This step calls for a small handful of pieces, including 2 1x1 gray bricks, but the page only shows a single one being placed. If that wasn't weird enough, the same exact mistake happens in the very next step too. The book calls for 2 1x1 bricks, but only one shows up. Weird. A fan by the username of The Ringleader highlighted that the Hulkbuster Battle for Wakanda instructions has the exact opposite problem. Check out this section on step 55. It's split up into 7 steps to arrange these 9 pieces, which is already quite a lot, but take a closer look at steps 4 and 5. They're exactly the same. No new pieces are added, removed, or shifted. It's just a straight up copy and paste. So I guess this section really only needed 6 steps. One of the smallest yet rarest mistakes in today's video comes from a viewer named Hierney and can be found in the parts list page of the cement mixer set released in 2007. The set comes with 4 of these 4x4 plates, but the image in the parts list at the back of the instruction booklet shows them as having a single black stud attached to them. These pieces definitely don't come attached to each other in the bag. This is actually the first time I've ever seen a visual error like this one, certainly a strange misprint. Now, do you remember this iconic LEGO instruction step that looks impossible to build? Well, you can now buy this as a colorfully illustrated poster for your room at SpitBrix.com, along with a bunch of other creative brick posters, such as this one that features 12 illegal LEGO building techniques. Speaking of which, look at this LEGO set, in which LEGO accidentally placed a LEGO plate in between another plate. LEGO has specifically said that this places stress on the bricks in this position and should never be used in new sets. So go check out all the posters I've released at SpitBrix.com. Click the link in the description to shop now. The LEGO Brand Store set is a fun build with about 550 pieces used to create several cute little sub-builds for display. One of the cooler Easter eggs in this build can be found on the top floor window display. This is clearly a reference to the recent Disney Castle set. While that's certainly neat, there's a small error on page 99 of the instructions booklet. These 3 pieces are put together to form a tower and flag, but the arrow points to the wrong stud. The creator of these instructions must have been running low on sleep to make this error. It's not the kind of thing that's going to ruin a build, but it's more than likely going to cause at least a few people to have to stop and scratch their heads. Another mistake pops up twice in the LEGO Friends cat grooming car. A fan named Peter notified me that the problem can be found pretty early on in the instructions on steps 5 and 6 while building the mirror section. Step 5 calls for a single piece to be placed, but the image shows 3 new pieces placed, with these 2 light blue half pyramid pieces included. What gives? Well, it seems that the designers must have gotten a little too excited because these pieces are called for in step 6 on the very next page. Now, I've got a submission here from Lewis and Dudibs, who both found a mistake in the instructions for Star-Lord's helmet. But first, if you spot a mistake in a LEGO set, be sure to let me know by sending a picture and a brief description to videos@spitbrix.com. You may just see your submission in a future video. In this set though, step 25 requires 2 frame plates to be placed, but there's something extra in the image. Look at this 1x2 plate with hollow studs. For one, the piece doesn't seem to be connected to anything at all. It's seemingly just floating. And two, it's way too small. The scale is all wrong. It looks funny. On the very next step, 4 of these pieces are added without any problems. Reddit user Winstano points out a similar strange mishap in the Indiana Jones Temple of the Golden Idol. On the very last page of the instructions, there's a close-up of Indy about to pluck the idol from its precarious perch upon the pedestal. But what's this? A giant sloped wall piece? Here? That can't be right. Well, sure enough, a quick glance at the finished build confirms that this piece does not belong here. Honestly, I'm bewildered that such a large piece wasn't noticed when reviewing the instructions for this set. These sorts of printing errors often go completely unnoticed by most builders, but sometimes a mistake just stands out like a sore thumb. The UCS Millennium Falcon is a crown jewel among LEGO's offerings and is still one of the largest sets ever produced. Anyone who's picking this up is going in with some pretty high expectations. That's why a Reddit user appropriately named Just Another User noticed something that seemed a little off on step 736 of their instruction manual. The red pieces that are called for seem to have some sort of weird two-tone dual molded variety that I've personally never seen before, and it just didn't seem right. So a quick check at the set's official instructions online shows that the piece is just a standard red one. A few other users commented that it looks like something dripped on this instruction booklet during printing, and that mixing of water and ink before it was completely dried possibly had this weird effect. Have any of you guys ever seen this in a booklet of yours? Let me know in the comments. The next error was submitted by a viewer named Joshua, who was so excited to find an error in the instructions for the Creator Super Robot. Although I'm going through a lot of mistakes in this video, these are still very rare to find. While building the legs, steps 27 and 28 are perfectly clear, but turn the page and what do you see? Step 30. Wait, so what happened to step 29? It's non-existent. I've got some tinfoil hat conspiracy theories, but nothing substantial yet. But honestly, it does seem to just be a numbering error. No steps are skipped and no new parts mysteriously appear. Now, a viewer named Near Online seemed to have some pretty bad luck finding 2 mistakes in the same set, specifically the Ocean Exploration ship. But first, please take 2 seconds to subscribe and join me as we head towards 1 million. Step 6 of the UAV sub-build contains a 1x2 printed tile with a few dials, but when this builder opened up the bag, they were given a different printed tile. Now, a little slip-up like this is understandable, and no one would ever really notice if you didn't point it out, but that wasn't the end. You see, on step 131, the instructions ask for a printed 2x2 slope brick with a monitor. Well, guess what? This is also a different printed brick than what was in the bag. Again, it's a tiny mistake, but the fact that it happened twice is very weird. People have speculated that LEGO changed the printing design of these pieces sometime after the set instructions were designed, but before the set was produced, since it takes over a year for LEGO to go from design to final product. If you have this set, which pieces did you get? These next 2 LEGO sets that break the rules come to us from viewer Nicholas, who found a couple interesting mistakes. First up, there's just something that's not quite right about Luke's lightsaber. This 173-piece set is a pretty basic build with nothing special or complicated about it, but there is something in the instructions that caught Nick's eye, and it is a little bit hard to spot, so let's walk through it. Step 5 is pretty simple. 4 blue Technic pins, 2 round plates, and a round Technic brick. It's really straightforward, so moving on. Steps 6 and 7 add a single layer of tiles around a jumper in the middle. Again, nothing weird here. But then we get to step 8. And, well, what happened to steps 6 and 7? Step 8 seems to be the exact repeat of step 5, but it's not just a copy and paste, because check out the arrow placement. This is a different image. Step 9 shows what the new bit is actually supposed to look like. This isn't a huge issue, and anyone putting this together is likely to figure it out without much effort, but it is kinda confusing nonetheless. Also from Nicholas, we've got what might be the strangest error in this video. Take a look at the promotional images for Sandy's Power Loader mech from the Monkey Kid line. There's something here that seems to break not just the rules of LEGO, but also the very laws of physics themselves. Look at the end of the mech's staff. Really look at it. You see that? Those 2 claw pieces are supposed to be clipped in, but yeah, they're just kind of floating there on top. How did that even happen? Gravity makes this impossible, so what gives? Well, either this image is a CGI render of the set, or the set photographer accidentally forgot to add these claws and tried to add them in with some image editing magic. LEGO does a bit of both, so it's hard to confirm. At least the box image for this set appears to not have this issue, which is very good. The claws are attached, so at least LEGO didn't mess up there. Now, there are some other errors that are hiding in LEGO instruction booklets. One such mistake is at the very end of the booklet that came with the Ninjago Dojo Temple. On page 288, there's a picture of the completed build, but actually it's not quite complete. There's a brick trying to escape. Yeah, check this out. If you zoom in on Kai's mech, specifically his right arm, and compare it to this photo, you can see that the mech in the instructions is missing the 1x2 clip piece holding the gold katana. There's a gap where the piece should be. Well, look even closer and you'll notice that it's there, but it's actually just slipped downwards. I have no idea how this piece glitch happened. Although most of these have been issues with the instructions or box art images for sets, every now and again something slips through to final production when we get a real set with a real mistake. Overall, these are very rare, but one example was caught by Sunrise Grapes Films in this Lotus set from the Speed Champions theme. It seems that during the sticker printing process, some of the stickers were miscut, leading to the yellow lines on each side of the build being totally different sizes. This is actually really annoying, and the kind of thing that LEGO is usually really good at stopping in quality control. In any case, if you ever get something like this, LEGO customer support will happily send you a replacement sheet for free, which is quite amazing. Don't forget to check out SpitBrix.com for my new brick posters. Click here to watch more episodes because there are a lot more LEGO sets that break the rules, and subscribe for more LEGO videos.